Corporate greed is reaching levels we've never seen before. Today, companies aren't just raising prices randomly. Many of them are now using artificial intelligence to decide how much you should pay based on who you are.
Companies take that data and they use it to try to figure out basically how to wring more money out of you when you buy things from them.
Studies show that some companies are already using AI to set personalized prices by analyzing a person's profile, habits, and behavior. This practice is called surveillance pricing. It happens when a company shows different prices to different people for the same product. The price you see may depend on your browsing history, location, income level, shopping habits, or even the type of device you use. A study by McKinsey found that AI-based pricing systems can increase a company's revenue by up to 15%. That alone explains why so many corporations are eager to adopt these tools. Researchers have found that large retailers with very little local competition can make huge profits simply by changing prices on essential items like food. Consumer Reports discover price differences of up to 116% for the exact same online product, depending only on the buyer's zip code. This means two people shopping at the same time can pay wildly different prices without ever knowing it. Surveillance pricing works by using personal data to guess how much money a customer is willing to spend. Companies look at things like how often you visit a website, how long you look at a product, whether you compare prices, and how urgently you seem to need the item. In some cases, companies may even use financial data or credit-related signals to push prices higher. One example that shocked many people involved Uber. An independent analysis suggested that Uber could charge users up to 6% more when their phone battery drops below 15%. The idea is simple. If your phone is about to die, you're more likely to accept a higher price instead of waiting. Uber has denied using battery levels directly, but a Belgian newspaper reported that the company had access to this data and could factor it into pricing. Similar concerns have also appeared in airline ticket pricing. According to a Wall Street Journal report, some airlines increased their yearly revenue by as much as 20% after switching to AI-based pricing systems. So the next time you search for a flight, the price you see might not just depend on demand or seat availability. It may depend on how many times you searched, where you live, and how likely the system thinks you are to pay more. Dynamic pricing itself isn't new. It actually began decades ago. In the 1970s, airline ticket prices in the United States were controlled by the government. That changed in 1978 when the Airline Deregulation Act was passed. This law allowed airlines to set their own prices freely, and it completely changed how tickets were sold. After deregulation, American Airlines developed one of the first pricing systems that adjusted fares automatically based on demand. By the mid-1980s, this system helped the company increase revenue by 6 to 8% without adding more flights. Other airlines quickly copied the idea. Prices would rise as planes filled up, and people booking late would pay more. If flights weren't filling fast enough, discounts appeared. This approach worked extremely well, so it spread to other industries. By the 1990s, hotels, car rental companies, and train services were all using dynamic pricing. Prices were no longer fixed. They changed constantly based on demand. Hotels were especially quick to adopt the system. In the late 1990s, Hilton began using a centralized pricing system that looked at booking trends, past data, and seasonal demand. If a hotel saw that many rooms were already booked for a holiday weekend, prices would automatically increase. If bookings were slow, discounts would be offered. According to company reports, Hilton increased its revenue per room by nearly 6% each year for several years. It also reduced the number of empty rooms in major cities like New York, Los Angeles, and Chicago. From a business perspective, the system was a success. For customers, it meant higher and less predictable prices. The next big shift happened with the rise of online shopping. In the early 2000s, companies like Amazon began experimenting with different prices for different users. In one famous case, the same DVD was sold at slightly different prices to different customers. Amazon later said these were just tests, but they revealed something important. Online platforms could quietly change prices without customers noticing. As data collection grew, companies began tracking cookies, IP addresses, search history, and purchase behavior. This allowed them to build profiles for each user. Algorithms could then estimate how likely someone was to buy a product and adjust the price accordingly. Studies from that time found price differences of 5% to 15% for the same product shown to different users. Then came Uber, which made dynamic pricing a part of everyday life. Uber's surge pricing automatically raised fares when demand was high and drivers were scarce. Prices could double or even triple during busy times. Uber said this encouraged more drivers to work, but later research showed that higher prices didn't always mean higher earnings for drivers. Between 2022 and 2025, Uber's share of each ride's cost increased sharply. Some reports showed that Uber's take rate in the US jumped from around 13% to over 40%. This suggested that surge pricing was becoming more about profit than balancing supply and demand. Still, customers got used to it. After 2020, things became even more advanced. Companies started using powerful AI systems that could analyze millions of data points at once. Airlines like Delta announced plans to rely heavily on AI to predict demand and set ticket prices. These systems didn't just look at routes or seasons. They tried to guess how much each individual customer was willing to pay. At this point, pricing became fully personalized. Algorithms could look at your device type, location, search history, how long you hesitated before buying, and whether you had money in your account. Some studies found that people using Apple devices often saw higher prices, likely because Apple users are assumed to have more spending power. One of the most controversial changes happened when dynamic pricing entered grocery shopping. Studies of grocery delivery apps like Instacart found that prices for the same item could differ by up to 23% between users looking at the product at the same time. Around 3/4 of the products studied showed different prices for different people. At the same time, physical stores began installing digital price tags. Major chains like Walmart and Kroger announced plans to replace paper labels with electronic ones. These digital tags allow prices to be changed instantly across thousands of items. Walmart plans to use them in thousands of stores by 2026.
We are able to change the price within minutes if we want to.
While companies say this helps manage inventory and reduce waste, critics warn that it allows prices to change based on who is shopping and when. Someone shopping late at night or in a wealthier area could end up paying more for the same item. The biggest concern is fairness. AI pricing systems can charge more simply because someone lives in a rich neighborhood, uses an expensive phone, or shows signs of impulsive buying. Companies argue that this is just efficient pricing, but critics say it increases inequality and takes advantage of consumers. In the end, price is no longer just about the product, it's about the person buying it. Your data has become part of the price tag. And as AI becomes more powerful, the question isn't whether this will spread further, it's how much more we're willing to accept before pushing back. Let me know your thought in the comments, and make sure to subscribe for our next interesting video coming soon. This is Rob, and you're watching Beyond Economy.